after this morning, we've woken up in the castle grounds. I think it's called Okehampton Castle. And actually it's interesting because we stopped here last night and at least 5 groups have come in during the night. And it's closed because they close it for the low season. So there's a gate down there. There's a gate down there that you pay for an entrance to come into the castle. But of course locals know that it's open. So they just come and have a wander around the castle, which is kind of cool. And it's not, the gate's only about knee high, so it's easy to step over. The Noble Hunting Lodge. I thought it was quite nice this morning that I've actually got the castle to myself. It's a cold morning, cold and damp, as it would have been back in the day, wouldn't it? When these castles were lived in. I can't read the plaque, they're a little headset. So there's obviously, you can have some headsets and they'll give you a guided tour to what each section of the castle is. Wow, look at these great slabs of rock here. The mortar they must have used to bind these stones together has stayed together, which is quite fascinating. Look, there's a little arrow slot facing in to the castle. It's unusual. And here are the and you can see at one time they would have had a metal bar across them to stop people climbing in. Again, there's no way up. Maybe this was the central courtyard. And I suspect that might have been the keep up there. Maybe that's where the lords and ladies lived. Up on the top of the hill, on the mound, the beautiful view across Okehampton. Wow, it's quite a size. There are rooms all over the place. God, we've got a long walk ahead of us. Do I really want to go up the top? I do, actually. I do want to go. I will. I'll take you up there. If you've enjoyed the videos, the walk down from John O'Groats to Land's End, you can support us or buy us a coffee or breakfast on paypal.me/thankssteve. That's 2 S's in the middle. Thanks, Steve. And it's much appreciated. Anyway, these are big steps. Look at the size of these steps. Oh, and now they're little steps. Maybe these weren't the original staircase to the keep. I'm calling it the keep, but they're big steps. Wow. Who lives in a house like this? Exhausting. I haven't had my coffee yet. Michelle's still getting up. Oh, okay. We're at the top. So yes, this would have looked out over the valley the Courtneys. The aristocratic family, known as the Courtneys, owned Okehampton for over 350 years, from 1173 to 1539. The main residence was in Tiverton, north of Exeter. Well, we were in Tiverton earlier on, so I could have said hello to them. The family probably visited Okehampton only a few times a year. It never changes, does it? Never changes. There are people with too much money ruling people that have nothing. It is the keep, look. The stone keep stands on the artificial mound, or moat, a mighty symbol of the Norman power and the authority dominating the surrounding countryside in the early 14th century. The keep was extended to create more luxurious lodgings on the first floor and storage areas on the lower floor. Wow. You know, they say about the families, these families still have great wealth today. A lot of them just handed down over generations. The wealth is so poorly distributed throughout the world, and it is wrong. Very wrong. A lot of you will say, oh well, Steve, you're just moaning on. We've all got good lives and cars and TVs and holidays and the like. But when you travel, there's a chute coming down here. That's a toilet, or maybe waste. When you travel as much as Michelle and I have done, and you see the immense poverty in the world, with still wealth. I remember not long ago we were in Cambodia, and on the streets of Cambodia you will see some of the poorest people in the world. And then one day, bright yellow Lamborghini drove down the streets, and these streets, they weren't much better paved than this step here, rocks and boulders, and you got to wonder how the thing even managed to clear the ground. Oh dear, there's a ambulance. Yeah, so there was a guy driving a Lamborghini through the streets of Phnom Penh, and I subsequently learned that they're just a wealthy family, had way too much money, owned a lot of land in Cambodia, probably part of their government elite, and he had many of these cars. Obviously the families had many of these cars, and they would take them to Thailand to be serviced. And you know, this is the sort of, you know, you walk around the corner and there's a family washing themselves in the drains just around the corner. We do try and make a small difference, but sometimes it's very hard. Anyway, a very small difference. You can drop us the cost of a breakfast or a coffee. PayPal.me/thanks Steve, 2 S's in the middle. Michelle and I would greatly appreciate it. We'll do something nice with it, or buy something nice with it, or keep making these great videos for you. Love to you all from a castle, an old castle in England. Am I the only person, when they look around a castle, gets annoyed with the families that own them? Does anyone else feel that way? I know a lot of people love all the old history of castles and things, but for me, all I ever get is a sort of nagging annoyance that these people still live today in their castles, their stately homes and their apartments in London. And the rest of the population, we get by fine. But in reality, we're paying taxes and we're paying immense amounts of money into a system that feeds their wealth. Anyway, enough of that from our little castle, our little keep, which is now done probably close to 1,100 miles, maybe even more, since we left John O'Groats. We've got a couple of days, no, just a day left, and I think we're going to have a stop in a hotel, so that'll be nice. And then we're going to make that last push to Land's End. Time to make a brew for Michelle and I.
And can you trust that you won't blow away in the wind?
It's funny how I think the last days of this walk I'll find harder to film, like the beginning of the walk in a way. It just seems so ridiculously mundane. All the roads look the same, the weather's the same. We've had some rain, so I've got my rain Mac on, but yeah, I don't know, it's difficult to film, isn't it? What's happening today? We're walking in grey skies, wet floors, and feeling cold. So, see, if anything exciting happens, I will film, but if nothing happens between the next point and Land's End, then I don't know what I'll film. We're in the town of Launceston. We've just come through, see if we can get some food, a bit of shopping. And apparently Launceston is the historic, what did it say, Michelle?
Capital of Cornwall.
Capital of Cornwall, which is kind of cool. It's got a beautiful town centre just ahead of us here. A lot of beautiful old buildings. It's actually not the best place to have started filming, next to some construction yard. But I love this little centre of the town square. What would you call that, Michelle? Let's just get across.
You say centre of the town?
Yeah. So it's got all the Remembrance Celebration poppies up at the moment, which really actually makes it look nicer in a way. And people have put up little painted stones, so that's kind of cool. Poppies on all the stones, look. Beautiful. I love these little towns. Anyway, we're spoiled for choice. We've got co-ops, we've got 2 or 3 supermarkets and little stores. So I was going to say there's loads more. I've passed a few. There's lots of shops open today. So yeah, we'll do a little bit of shopping and then be on our way. I'll come back to it because I wanted to show you, because actually the centre of town was a bit more average than I hoped it would be. But look at this beautiful church. This is what I was looking at as we came in. This is St Mary Magdalene Parish, Launceston. I love the old clock. Busy little town centre. A pretty little church, got some real age to it. Let me just get in close so you can see. Oh, and so we leave the warmth of a hotel for 4 more days out in the cold. The last 4 days.
Here we go.
Oh, cold. I know you'll say I'm only wearing a t-shirt, but I'll warm up soon enough.